So I'd like everyone to just start getting cozy on your mat. Make sure you have your blankets and your pillows nearby if you need them. I'm just going to move your pillows down closer so that if you do need them, then they're right there for you, okay?
Thanks.
Do you want one under your head right now, or you're good?
I'll manage.
Remember to stay in comfort, everybody. So let's start by bringing awareness to our breath. Breathing in through your nose. Breathing out through your nose or your mouth, whichever feels most comfortable for you this morning. And as you're taking these nice, deep breaths, notice what you're feeling in your body with your breath. Does your breathing feel easeful to you? Or does it feel constricted or forced? What are you noticing with your breath? As you continue with this comfortable breathing, move your awareness now to your head and your neck. Notice how your head feels on the floor. Notice if it feels heavy or light, if it feels pulled or turned more to one side than the other. Just taking note of anything that you're noticing in your head and your neck. Also notice how your face and your jaw feels. Are you noticing any tension or discomfort? With your next breath, move your awareness to your chest and your shoulders. Notice how your chest feels this morning. Does your chest feel open and relaxed? Or does it feel tight or tense? Do your shoulders feel like they're sitting and resting comfortably to the floor? Or do they feel rounded up off the floor? Notice how you have your arms and your hands placed, and notice how they feel. Are you sensing any differences from side to side? Does one arm, hand, and wrist feel different than the other side, and why? What feels different? Are you noticing any tension or discomfort anywhere in your chest, your shoulders, or your arms? Can you feel your shoulder blades on the ground beneath you? How do they feel? Do they feel even and balanced? Do they feel the same weight on the floor? With your next breath, move your awareness to your mid-torso. And as you take this next breath, notice what you're feeling here as you take your breath in and out. What are you noticing? Do you feel space for your breath? Do you feel comfortable breathing in and out? Are you noticing any tension in your mid-back or belly? Moving down to your low back and your pelvis. What are you noticing here? Are you comfortable laying with your legs long? Does your low back feel relaxed this morning, or does it feel tense or tight? Does it feel lifted and rounded up off of the floor? Or does it feel relaxed down to the floor? What are you noticing and sensing in your pelvis? Does your pelvis feel balanced and even, or does one side feel more settled to the floor, heavier to the floor, or lighter to the floor? Are you noticing any tension or discomfort anywhere in your low back or pelvis? Can you sense your legs coming up into your pelvis, and do they feel balanced and even, or is there a difference from side to side? If there is a difference, what is it? Does one leg feel heavier or lighter, longer or shorter, more turned in or more turned out? Take note of anything that you are noticing and continue to move down through your legs, your knees, your calves, ankles and feet. Taking note of anything that you're noticing and feeling. We'll be starting this morning with our tilt and release exercise. So when you're ready, go ahead and bend your feet. Bend your knees. Please don't try to bend your feet. And bring your feet flat to the floor. Allow your arms to just stay long beside you. We're going to do this first movement on an inhale. So when you're ready, inhale and tilt your pelvis forward from the top. Your belly button will rise and your tailbone will gently press down to the floor. Bring your awareness into this arch in your low back. As you exhale, begin to release that contraction and continue to breathe as you continue to release. And when you are back to neutral, make sure to rest. And let's repeat that one again. When you're ready, inhale and tilt your pelvis forward from the top, creating that small arch in your low back. Bring your awareness into your low back, and as you exhale, slow as you can, begin to release, stay in control, and continue to breathe. And when you're all the way back to neutral, rest. We'll repeat that one again. When you're ready, inhale and tilt your pelvis forward from the top, creating that arch in your low back. As you exhale, slowly with control, begin to release. As slow and smooth as you can. And when you're all the way back to neutral, rest. And we're going to move into the flatten exercise next. We'll be doing this on an exhale. So when you're ready, inhale to get to that exhale. Exhale, flatten your back down to the floor, engage your abdominal muscles. Slowly release as you inhale and continue to breathe as you slowly create more space in the front of your body, slowly coming back to neutral. And when you're back to neutral, rest. And we're going to do that one more time. This time we're going to add the pelvic floor awareness into this as well. So when you're ready, inhale to get to your exhale. Exhale, flatten your back down to the ground and engage your abdominals and your pelvic floor as you think of bringing your pubic bone upwards. Slowly release as you inhale. Focus on slow, controlled release of your abdominal muscles and your pelvic floor. And when you are all the way back to neutral, rest. And we're going to put these two movements together now. We're going to flow between them. We're going to start again with the tilt. When you're ready, inhale, tilt your pelvis forward from the top, your belly button rises, creating that small arch. Your pelvic floor should be relaxed. Exhale, slowly begin to release the contraction in your back and continue to breathe as you release, slowly with control. Moving through neutral, and when you're ready, on your next exhale, flattening your back down to the ground, engaging your pelvic floor and your abdominal muscles. Bring your awareness to the front of your body, and as you inhale, slow as you can, begin to release. Focus on what you're feeling in this release. Pay attention for any of those smas that might be happening. And take a moment to recontract over any of those major smas that you feel. When you're all the way back to neutral, rest. Let's repeat that flow again. When you're ready, inhale, tilt your pelvis forward from the top, belly button rising, creating that small arch. Your pelvic floor is relaxed. Exhale, slowly begin to release, challenging yourself to go slower and smoother, staying in comfort, continuing to breathe. Moving through neutral. When you're ready, on your next exhale, flattening your back down to the ground, engaging your pelvic floor and your abdominal muscles. Awareness to the front of your body now as you inhale, begin to release and continue to breathe and release the contractions that you've done to come into this movement. Slowly, with control, coming back to neutral. And when you are back to neutral, rest. And at your own pace, I'd like you to repeat that flow one more time. When you're ready, on your next inhale, going into the tilt, moving slowly with awareness, slowly releasing and continuing to breathe through your release. Really paying attention to what you're feeling in this movement today. What are you noticing? Are things starting to change and shift in your body with each day that we go through these movements? Remembering to engage your pelvic floor when you go into your flatten, and focusing on that slow, smooth, controlled release. And when you're back to neutral, you'll rest. We're going to be moving next into the look over your shoulder exercise. So when you're ready, you'll slowly make your way over onto your belly. And then you're going to bring one hand up and turn your head to whatever side feels most comfortable for you, and that's the hand that you're going to bring up. So if you've turned your head to the right, bring your right hand up. If you've turned your head to the left, bring your left hand up. Rest your cheek on the back of your hand so you're looking toward your elbow. And before we do this exercise today, I would like you to just bring your awareness into your back. And let's try to ignore the guys that are kicking around right outside our window at this moment. Get out of here. Bring your awareness into the back of your shoulder of the arm that you have up and the back of your opposite hip. These are the 2 points that are going to be coming towards each other when you come up into this exercise, and these 2 points are going to be lengthening and melting away from each other as you lower back down to the ground. I'd like to start this movement today with just your head and neck first. So when you're ready, inhale, gently lift your head, keeping your arm on the floor. Lift just your head and gently look over your shoulder and notice what's contracting in your back to help you to lift your head. Then slowly release. Really focus on how slowly you can decontract to come back to neutral. And then rest. I'd like you to imagine now that I crazy glued your cheek and your hand together, and I'd like you to imagine this next movement first. So I'm going to describe it and you're just going to imagine yourself doing it. On your next inhale, imagining yourself gently beginning to lift your elbow first. Continuing to lift your elbow, your shoulder blade will begin to draw into your spine as you continue to rotate in your upper torso, slowly peeling yourself sideways up off of your mat. You'll be gently looking over your shoulder and lengthening and lifting the opposite leg at the same time. Then you're going to slowly release and soften everything back to neutral. Let's give that a try now for real. So when you're ready, inhale, starting first by lifting your elbow and slowly rotating and lifting your upper body at the same time, lengthening and lifting your opposite leg. As you exhale, slowly begin to release. Pay attention to what you're feeling in your back, noticing those 2 points as they lengthen away from each other. And when you're all the way back to neutral, rest. And we'll repeat that one again when you're ready. Inhale, gently lifting and rotating as you lift your elbow and turn your upper torso, lifting that opposite leg, allowing your pelvis to rotate if it wants to as well. And slow as you can, softening, slowly lengthening the back of your shoulder blade and hip away from each other. When you're back to neutral, take a moment of rest, and then at your own pace, I'd like you to repeat that one more time, but I'm going to invite you to make a smaller one for the last movement. So when you're ready, on your next inhale, at your own pace, gently coming into that look over the shoulder exercise, noticing what's changing with each repetition. Is this movement starting to feel a little more easeful to you? Can you feel yourself softening and relaxing even more with each repetition? Make sure to take a moment of rest in neutral, and then when you're ready, you'll make your way to the opposite side. Slowly turning your head, bringing your opposite arm up. And we'll start with the same pattern on this side. So we're going to be starting with just lifting your head. So when you're ready, inhale, gently lift just your head upwards, gently looking over your shoulder, noticing what's contracting in your back to lift your head, and then slowly decreasing that contraction. Thinking of it as like turning the music down, or this might only work for dance teachers, but fading a song out. Sometimes back in the day before we had music editing, I would have to fade a song out for a dancer who's on stage, and you have to fade it out slow and smooth. Make sure to rest in neutral, and then imagine that I've come around and crazy glued your cheek now to the back of that other hand. Moving into the full movement. First, I should have helped to bring that awareness into your back. Think about the back of that shoulder blade, the back of your opposite hip. Imagine those 2 points coming towards each other, and then imagine how they're going to move away from each other as we release. When you're ready, inhale, gently lifting, starting with that elbow, peeling it sideways up off of your mat, and lengthening and lifting your opposite leg. Awareness into your back, and as you exhale, slowly releasing. When you're back to neutral, you'll rest. Right, and let's repeat that again. So when you're ready, inhale, gently lifting and rotating in your torso and your pelvis. Awareness in your back, and as you exhale, begin to release, focusing on those 2 points, slowly lengthening away from each other. And when you're back to neutral, rest. And then go ahead and repeat that one more time at your own pace. Maybe do this one a little smaller this time. Really focusing on what you're feeling in your back and smoothing out your slow release as you come back to neutral. When you're all the way back to neutral, make sure to rest. After you've had a moment of rest, you'll slowly make your way onto your back. We'll be moving next into the elbow to opposite knee exercise. So once you've rolled over, go ahead and bend your knees and bring your feet flat to the floor again. And you're going to bring one hand behind your head, and I would suggest using the same arm that you used first when you were laying on your belly. We'll be doing this on an exhale. So when you're ready, inhale to get to your exhale. Exhale, flatten your back down to the floor. Gently lift your head and chest and your opposite foot as you bring your elbow towards the outside of that opposite knee. Slowly release as you inhale. Continue to breathe as you continue to release. When you are all the way back to neutral, make sure to rest. We'll repeat that one again. When you're ready, inhale to get to your exhale. Exhale, flatten your back down. Gently rotate and lift in your upper torso and your leg, bringing your elbow towards the outside of that knee. And now as you inhale, really focus on what you're feeling in your abdominal muscles as you lower your head and your foot and continue to breathe. Smoothing this movement out. When you are back to neutral, take a moment of rest, and then at your own pace, I'd like you to repeat that one more time. Remember to move slowly and stay in comfort. And notice if on this third repetition, do you feel like you're moving with a little more fluidity? Are you noticing maybe that you're able to lift a little bit higher or rotate a little more with more comfort? Are you smoothing out your smas? And I'll just remind you that the smas can be very tricky. Sometimes they feel like very obvious bumps or clunks or glitches in our release, but sometimes it might be something more like maybe you're breathing and then moving and then breathing and then moving. I'm working to smooth that out. After a moment of rest, you'll switch to the opposite side. And we're going to repeat this one again. When you're ready, inhale to get to your exhale. Exhale, flatten your back, gently lift and rotate as you bring your elbow towards the outside of your opposite knee. Slowly, with control, releasing as you continue to breathe. Releasing and breathing fluidly together. When you're back to neutral, make sure to rest. We'll repeat that one again. When you're ready, inhale to get to your exhale. Exhale, flatten your back down, engaging your abdominals. Gently rotate and lift, bringing your elbow and knee towards each other. Slowly release as you inhale and continue to breathe. Continue to soften all the way back to neutral. Take a moment of rest in neutral, and then at your own pace, repeat that one more time. Focusing on your comfort, focusing on moving smoothly and breathing fluidly while you move. Working to smooth out any of the smooths that you're feeling. When you've returned to neutral, make sure to rest. And once you've had a moment of rest, we'll be moving next into the armpit to hip exercise. You'll be laying on your side. And again, I'm going to allow you to pick to whichever side feels best for you. So imagine you're in that tall wooden chair, and then I came over and just tipped you onto your side. So your knees will be straight out from your hips, your feet straight down from your knees, resting your head on your arm, on your bottom arm, and or a pillow.
Oh, I can't wait to sleep in my own bed. I'm so tired.
Now, if you are comfortable to bring your top arm up over your head to support it, please do. But also, I know that you all have done this exercise a few times now and that you can find your own place of comfort for this one. Also, I'm going to remind you to just continue to breathe, but I'm going to cue this on an inhale for the first one so you can just see how it feels. So when you're ready, inhale, gently lift your head and your chest and your top foot, keeping your knees together. Gently squeezing your hip and armpit towards each other. Then slowly begin to release as you exhale and continue to breathe and continue to soften, lowering your foot and your head. And when you're all the way back to neutral, rest. And let's do that one again. When you're ready, this time on an exhale. So inhale to get to your exhale. Exhale, gently lift your head and chest and your top foot, squeezing that hip and armpit towards each other. As you inhale now, begin to release and remember to continue to breathe as you soften. Also, take the time to recontract. If you feel any big bumps or glitches, take a moment to go back over them, smoothing it out. When you're back to neutral, you'll rest. We're going to do one more repetition, but I want to remind you before we do the last one about that last step in the dark. Remember that if you feel like you're back to neutral and then you notice there's a bit of a drop, whether it be with your foot or your head, that is also a sign of sensory motor amnesia. You might want to go back up that last step. So when you're ready, one more time on this side, picking whatever breath works best for you. Gently lift your head and your chest, squeezing your hip and armpit towards each other. A little side crunch, if you will, and then slowly release. Slowly with control, lowering your head and your foot, smoothing this movement out. I can see you all were very careful about that last step this time. Thank you. That looked beautiful. Take a moment of rest. And then allow your top arm to just rest in front of you somewhere for a moment. I want to just add a little variation exercise here. I'd like you to keep your feet together this time. And you're going to lift your top knee upward. So when you're ready, lifting your top knee, your feet stay together. Lift your top knee up towards the ceiling, just a couple of inches. Notice how you feel that in the outside of your leg there. Then slowly release. Pay attention. You're probably going to find some smas in this movement because we have not addressed this particular pattern or movement yet. So slowly softening in the outside of the top of your leg and even into your glute, a little bit into your butt, your hip. When your knees are back together, you're back to neutral. Rest. And let's do just one more on that same side. When you're ready, feet stay together. Gently lift that knee upwards. Notice what you're feeling in the top of your top leg. Slowly release. Stay in control. Make sure you're still breathing. Once you've returned to neutral, slowly lengthen your top leg and your top arm. Really feel the length in this side of your body. You might even want to lift your waist up towards the ceiling a little bit. And then slowly rolling onto your back. As we move into the Somagical interlude, laying on your back with your legs long, just start to take a couple of nice deep breaths. What are you noticing with your breath? Do you feel more space for your breath on the side of your waist that was up to the ceiling? Does that side of your body feel a little more settled to the floor? Does that side of your pelvis feel a little more relaxed and settled to the floor? Do you feel longer and taller on that side? And bring your feet closer together and just take a moment to notice if that leg feels longer, if it feels lighter or heavier. Just take note of any changes or differences you're noticing. And then when you're ready, you'll make your way to your opposite side, again moving into that tipped onto its side chair position with your knees straight out from your hips and your feet straight down from your knees. Again, resting your head on your bottom arm and or a pillow. And then bringing your top arm up over your head. If you can bring it there comfortably, remember if that's uncomfortable for you, you're going to change it so that you can stay in comfort. Please honor your somas. And Darlene, I'm just going to come, interesting to me that on the other side you were quite straight on this one. Is it because your bottom shoulder is sore or?
No.
No, you're okay there? Okay. If you felt more comfortable sort of leaning back, go back to it though. When you're ready, we'll do the same as on the other side. We'll do the first one with an inhale. So when you're ready, inhale. Gently lift your head and chest and your top foot. Your knees stay together, squeezing your hip and armpit. Then slowly release as you exhale. Focus on what you're feeling in your top side waist as you slowly release this contraction. When you're back to neutral, rest. And we'll do this next one on an exhale, unless you've already decided you prefer it on an inhale. So when you're ready, inhale to get to your exhale. Exhale, gently lift your head and chest, your top foot gently squeezing your hip and armpit towards each other, and then slowly releasing as you inhale. And continue to breathe as you lower your head and your foot. When you're back to neutral, make sure to rest. Then at your own pace, I'd like you to repeat that one more time, choosing whichever breath feels best for you. Moving with awareness. Working to smooth this movement out as you lengthen and soften in that top side. When you're back to neutral, Make sure to rest. And then you'll slowly bring that top arm down in front of you or somewhere where it feels comfortable. And then keeping your keeping your feet together. When you're ready, gently lift your top knee upward towards the ceiling, focusing on what you're feeling in that top outer thigh as you lift your knee. And then slowly, with control, releasing as you allow your knee to soften back to neutral. Taking the time to recontract over any glitches or bumps you might feel. And when you've returned to neutral, make sure to rest. Oops. And then we'll repeat that one more time when you're ready. Feet stay together, gently lifting your top knee upward. And then slow and smooth, slowly turning down the contraction that you turned on to lift that knee as you slowly return to neutral. Once you've returned to neutral, make sure to take a moment of rest. And then when you're ready, you'll slowly lengthen your top arm and your top leg. Feeling the length in that side and lifting your waist gently upwards towards the ceiling. And then slowly making your way onto your back. Coming back into that so magical interlude or self-sensing position where our legs are long and our arms are resting beside us. Taking another nice deep breath. Are you noticing more space for your breath now on both sides of your waist? Do both sides of your waist feel softer, longer? Do you feel taller? Do both sides of your body feel a little more even and balanced? And then bringing your feet together again, just checking in to notice if your legs feel a little more the same length this time. What are you noticing? We'll be moving next into the wash rag exercise. When you're ready, go ahead and bend your knees again, bring your feet flat to the floor. And then allow your arms to go straight out beside you like the letter T. Yeah. Go ahead and bend your knees, bring your feet flat to the floor, and allow your right arm to be palm up and your left arm to be palm down. Turn your head slowly towards the right so that if your eyes were open, you'd be looking towards that palm. Let's practice that over rotation of our arms. Again, only if it feels comfortable for you. Gently press into both of your thumbs and allow your hands and arms to rotate and roll, just like a rolling pin rolling from your shoulder joint. Notice that your right shoulder blade pulls downward towards the back of your hip. Your left shoulder blade comes up and forward and towards the front of your left hip. Slowly begin to release this and continue that rotation to the opposite side. Slowly begin to turn your head to the opposite side as you slowly twist and rotate, turning your right hand and arm down as your left arm and hand begins to roll up. Reminding yourself that this movement is coming from your shoulder joint and that your entire arm is rolling, just like a rolling pin. Switching back to the other side when you're ready, slowly rotating. Slowly turning your head now towards the right as your right arm slowly rolls upward. Your left arm slowly rolling downward. And again, over rotating if it feels comfortable. Gently pressing into your thumbs, your left shoulder coming up and forward towards the front of your left hip, your left shoulder coming down to the back of your right hip. Pause here for a moment. If your knees aren't bent yet, please bend them now. As you begin to reverse this movement in your upper body, start to let your knees drift to the right. So begin to rotate again, your right arm rolling down. Your head begins to turn left as your knees start to drift to the right. And allow your entire pelvis to roll and rotate. Slowly twisting and wringing yourself out. Moving to the opposite side when you're ready. And as you continue to twist and rotate, focus on your breath. Are you breathing smoothly while you move? Or are you moving and then breathing? Try to continue to move and breathe together. Fluidly. Your breath moving through your body smoothly as your body moves smoothly through space. Continue rotating and twisting at your own pace. And I'm going to invite you to be curious in this movement. By the time we get to wash rag, we've released enough in our torso usually that this movement should feel really wonderful in your body. And I encourage you to continue making it feel as wonderful as you can. You might want to try changing the position of your feet, whether it be bringing them closer to your pelvis maybe further from your pelvis. Maybe you want to bring your feet closer together or further apart. I think I've told you, some of you anyways, that I like to kind of walk my feet to the side a little bit. So if my knees are drifting to the left, I'll walk my feet a little bit to the right. So just making sure that you know that you have permission. You are in charge of your own soma. You are in charge of making this movement feel amazing. You were twisting, right? This time keep this here. Let your knees go to the opposite side. Oh. You had it, but then at some point, you got
mixed up.
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
And now you should be able to be back on track. I love this sweater, by the way.
Oh, thank you. It was my mom's.
And your knees coming up and over now. There you go. Nice. When you've finished the one that you're on, you'll start to make your way back to neutral or back to center. We're going to be moving next into some of the blue exercises. These are for the hip joints and legs. So when you're ready, you're going to start getting yourself into that position where you can slide your feet. So some of you may need to fold your mats up or your blankets up. You'll still be laying on your back with your legs long, but we want to make sure that we're going to be able to slide our feet. And I feel like we're going to want to bend this up just a little bit more. There. Is that comfy? Are you okay? Okay. Excellent. Let's... I'm thinking if we just go like this and fold the whole thing up.
It might be a little hard, lumpy.
And then try to get your butt right to the bottom. Yeah. And then we'll put a pillow here for you too. You may want a pillow.
Might be helpful.
All right. So we're going to be starting with the exercise called the one-legged butterfly. So bring your awareness into your right leg. So with your legs long and focusing on your right leg, I'd like you to begin to turn your right toes outward and begin to slide your heel in and up towards your pelvis, nice and slow. Then slowly slide your foot back down to legs long. It doesn't matter how high up your foot goes. What matters is the rotation and the movement. So continue sliding your foot back to legs long, and when your legs are long, take a moment of rest. And we'll repeat that one again. Turning your entire right leg outward. So turn your toes and your whole leg outward. Start to slide your heel in and then up towards your pelvis. Your knee will open gently beside you. Then slowly slide your foot back down to legs long. So what we don't want is to be holding in a position of that knee being outward. This is a constant movement. Your foot slides up, then your foot slides down. Nice and slow and smooth. When you're back to legs long, take a moment of rest and notice if you're feeling any differences from side to side in your pelvis or in your legs. And now staying on this right side, begin to turn your right leg inward now, turning your whole leg and your toes inward. Then slide your heel out and around towards the outside of your pelvis. Your knee now will come inwards and up. It's going to come up and in into that knock knee position. Then slowly slide your foot back down to legs long. Take another moment of rest. And then you're going to repeat that one more time on that right side. Turning your right leg inward, slide your heel out and around as your knee comes up and inward. Then slowly sliding your foot back down to legs long. And rest. And now we're going to do just a quick Somagical interlude. So just take a moment to notice if you feel a difference between your right leg and your left leg, or between the right side of your pelvis and the left side of your pelvis. Has anything changed? What feels different? We're going to repeat these same movements now on your other leg. So when you're ready, begin to turn your left leg outward, turning your toes outward. Slide your heel in and up towards your pelvis as your knee gently opens outward, coming into that one-legged butterfly, and then slowly sliding your foot back down to legs long. And again, you'll take a moment of rest when your legs are long. We'll repeat that one more time. Turning your left leg outward, bringing your heel in, sliding it up as your knee opens outward, and slowly sliding your foot back down to legs long. And taking another moment of rest. Time to sense. We're going to move into the one-legged knock knee on your left side now. So when you're ready, turning that left leg inward, slide your heel out and around as your left knee comes up and inward to that knock knee position. And then slowly sliding your foot back down to legs long. And rest. And then one more time on this left side with the one leg knock knee, and turning your entire leg inward, slide your heel out and around towards the outside of your hip, coming into that one-legged knock knee, and then slowly sliding back down to legs long. When you're back to neutral, check in again. What's changed now? Do you feel a little more balanced and even now that we've done those same exercises on both legs? We're going to move next into a flow, and we're going to be flowing between the full butterfly movement and the full knock knees. So this time, turn both of your legs outward. Slide your heels towards each other and up towards your pelvis. Then slowly slide your feet back down to legs long. And when your legs are long, you're going to move right through neutral and begin to internally rotate your legs. So your toes will start to turn towards each other. Your heels will slide away from each other, out and around, as your knees come towards each other into that knock-knee position. And then you'll slide back down and continue to flow between knock knees and butterfly at your own pace. Moving slowly though, so that you are aware of what you're feeling. Staying in comfort. And also notice what's happening with your low back as you're flowing between butterfly and knock knees. Notice how when your knees come towards each other, your low back might feel a little closer or more settled to the ground. And when you go into your butterfly position, you might notice that your low back feels a little more arched off the ground. And you're going to allow this to happen. We're never forcing any movement, meaning you're not forcing your low back down. You're allowing your pelvis and your back and your entire body to move to what feels best for you and your soma. When you've finished the one that you're on, take a moment of rest in neutral. We'll be moving next into the skiing exercise. So when you're ready, begin to turn both of your legs to one direction or to one side. Allow your entire pelvis to roll to that side. As your knees start to drift to that side, start to slide your heels up towards your butt or towards your pelvis. Then slowly slide your legs long again. And then you'll rotate your entire legs and pelvis to the opposite side. So turn both toes and legs to the other side. Slide your heels upward as your pelvis rolls. And then slide your feet long. Continue this skiing motion or movement and be curious in this movement. Make it feel nice in your own body. Remember not to force anything. If you need to do the movement smaller or even in your imagination, that's what you will do. Allowing your pelvis to roll and rotate. Allowing your head to roll and rotate if it wants to. Notice how your whole body is starting to become part of this movement as you allow your soma to be free and move as it wants to. When you finish the one that you're on, you make your way back to neutral and rest. We're going to be moving next into a couple of seated exercises. So when you're ready, please make your way onto one side and slowly make your way up to sitting. And once you've come up to sitting, I'd like you to bring your right leg in front of you and your left leg behind, if this is comfortable, and we should have checked this first. And then can you bend your front leg, you guys, and place your front foot on like your thigh or your knee?
Yes. No.
Now, if
Can you repeat that last instruction?
bring this foot up to your, yeah,
Oh, like
exactly.
this. Okay.
Now, I need you to find, if you're uncomfortable, find a way to make this comfortable. Maybe you need to put pillows under your pelvis. Some people will find sitting on pillows can take the pressure out. Where does it feel like it's bugging you, Kim?
No, this
Okay,
just doesn't
so we're going to move you into chairs, which is perfect because I love when we have at least one person in chairs so that people can see that this can very easily be done in chairs. I'm just going to slide that back a bit. Perfect. So you're going to sit in this one. All right, now if you can, bring this leg to this side of the chair. Yep. Place this hand on the chair. So you're going to place your right hand on the floor beside you, and then bring your left hand up to your right shoulder. Good. And I'm sorry, I'm going to turn this chair this way. There. All right, the first movement is called the seated torso turn. So when you're ready, on your next exhale, begin to turn your torso, your head, and your eyes towards the right or towards the back. And I'd like you to rotate your torso, your head, and your eyes only as far as you can comfortably, and then pause. And then I'd like you to mark your spot by either noticing something on the wall or the floor, something to gauge how far you've gone. Slowly begin to rotate back to neutral or to center. Pause for a moment in neutral or center. And then we'll repeat that again. Turning your torso, your head, and your eyes. Turning only as far as you can comfortably. Notice how your opposite hip wants to lift to help you do this. You're going to let that happen. Slowly rotate all the way back to center or to neutral. And then pause. We're going to move into the second exercise. This one is called sitting torso turn with head. Keep your torso facing to the front. Turn just your head this time to the right or to the back. And then pause. When you've turned your head as far as you can comfortably, pause. Slowly, you're going to begin to turn your head to the front and begin to turn your torso to the right. You need to do this at the same time, so I suggest going super, super slow. If you notice that you're turning your head and then your torso and then your head, try to slow it down a little bit. You're going to continue to move in opposition, so begin to turn your torso back to the front now as you slowly turn your head towards the back or to the right. Then switching again, you'll turn your torso to the back as your head turns front. Think of gently pressing your torso with that hand that's on your shoulder. And pause. Switch again. Begin to bring your torso to the front as you slowly turn your head to the right or to the back. You'll be looking over that shoulder. Switching again as your torso begins to turn back, your head slowly turning to the front. Check in. Are you moving your head and your torso together, or are you going a little bit step by step by step? Try to smooth this out. One more time. Switch again. Torso coming front, head turning back, moving at the same time. And then slowly make your way back to center or to neutral. Gently place that left hand on the floor beside your opposite hand or on your chair beside your other hand. And you're going to look downward towards both hands. So your head is tilted, looking down at the space between both hands on the floor beside you. Right here. Yeah. So you just brought this hand down from your shoulder and place it beside.
Okay.
Yeah. And move them to where you need to make that feel comfortable. To the same side you were already at, yeah. And not turning. This time, with your head tilted down, looking between your hands, I'd like you to imagine that I just gave you magical laser eyes. And we've turned them on, and now you're burning a hole straight down with both eyes, burning a hole between your hands. I'd like you to begin to draw the lines with those lasers outward along the floor and continue with those eyes, making this line all the way out along the floor until you start to have to tilt your head upwards when you reach the horizon, and tilting your head up, drawing those laser lines along a wall or whatever you're looking at, all the way up until you are tipped up as far as you can comfortably go with those lasers. And then slowly you'll draw those laser lines all the way back down, following the same path, slow and smooth. Your eyes and your head slowly moving and tilting as you draw those laser lines all the way back down. And then you're going to repeat that. Slowly drawing those lines upward along the floor, then all the way out into the wall, and then all the way up the wall and into the sky, and then all the way back down. One more time. When you finish drawing those laser lines back down, you're going to slowly bring that left hand back to your right shoulder. And we're going to repeat the first rotation again, where we turned our head, torso, and eyes. So when you're ready, inhale to get to your exhale. Exhale, begin to turn and continue to breathe as you rotate, turning your torso, your head, your eyes, and allow your opposite hip to lift. And if it's not lifting, lift it. It'll feel lovely. And if it doesn't, don't do that. When you've gone as far as you can, find that spot and mark it. Check if you've gone further.
Oh, yeah.
Then slowly come back to center. Isn't that awesome, you guys? This is one of my favorite exercises. When you're back to center, rest everything, and then get ready to move to the opposite side. And so when we're in our chairs, we just switch sitting to the other chair. All right, so now you're going to have your left leg in front, your right leg kind of tucked behind you. This in dance, by the way, is called an attitude or a calypso position. And are you, by the way, if one side is uncomfortable, are you okay on that side?
Yeah.
Okay. Just make sure you're comfy. How are you doing over here, Gladys? You're okay in that position too?
Yep.
Okay, and you can bend your front leg still?
Oh my God.
Like.
Not bending your leg. Oh, yeah, I forgot that part.
Now, is that okay though? You're comfy?
Yeah.
Okay. I usually have to put a cushion under my back foot. I don't know why, but my back foot like digs on the floor or something. So just make sure you're comfy. Left hand on the floor or on the chair beside you. Bring your right hand up to that opposite shoulder. And we're going to do the full turn again. When you're ready, on your exhale, begin to turn your torso, your head, and your eyes to the left or to the back. Only going as far as you can comfortably, and then mark your spot again. Notice something on the wall or on the floor. And then slowly turn back to center. Slow and smooth. Then we'll repeat that one more time. When you're ready, slowly turning your head, your torso, and your eyes, turning to the left, breathing consistently as you turn. When you've gone as far as you can comfortably, slowly turning back to center. When you've turned back to center, you'll pause for a moment. Moving into number 2, keeping your torso to the front, turn just your head and your eyes now to the left. When you've turned your head and your eyes to the left as far as you can comfortably, you'll pause. And then very slowly begin to turn your head towards the front as your torso turns to the back now. Head turning front, torso turning back. And pause. Continue to rotate in opposition as your head begins to turn back now. Your torso is turning to the front. So your head is turning back or to the left. Your torso is turning towards the front. Continue to rotate in opposition, your torso turning one way, head turning the other, and check in. Are you turning your torso and your head smoothly together, or are you doing a little bit of torso, a little bit of head, a little bit of torso? Try to smooth that out. Over rotating your head too, if it feels comfortable, like it doesn't need to stop at center, it can go a little to the right so that you'll be looking over your opposite shoulder. Breathing smoothly and smoothing this movement out. And at first you probably noticed that it's tricky to move our head and our torso in opposite directions. And that is, of course, because we just don't do this on a normal basis. Our actual natural pattern is to move our head and torso together. And coming back to neutral or to center. Then you'll gently bring that right hand down, place it beside your left hand, and gaze downwards towards both hands. Turn on those lasers. Begin to draw that line between your two hands, and then draw the line with your laser eyes along the floor, outward, until you have to start going up, and then all the way up the wall to the ceiling or to the sky, and then following those same lines with your eyes all the way back down. And then you're going to repeat that one more time, moving slowly. Remember that the slower that we go, the more we can perceive, the more we will become aware of. And I can see that some of you are doing this with your eyes open and some are doing it with your eyes closed, and that's great. I can tell you're honoring your soma by doing what feels best for you. When you finish that second repetition, you'll come back to your center, bringing that right hand back to your left shoulder as we repeat one more full torso turn. When you're ready, turning your torso, your head, and your eyes turning to the left, allowing that opposite or right hip to lift, and if it isn't, lift it up. Notice how much further you're going, and when you've gone as far as you can comfortably, mark your spot, check in. Did you go further? Slowly come back to center or to neutral. Once you've returned to neutral, taking your time, you're going to slowly make your way back onto your back as we move into our arch and curl to finish our MySoma Reset 75. So once you've made your way back onto your back, please bend your knees and bring your feet flat to the floor again. And you're going to bring your arms up behind your head. And we'll start with our arch. So when you're ready, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Inhale and arch your back by lifting your belly button, your pelvis rolling forward from the top, your tailbone gently pressing down, and gently press your shoulder blades down to the floor, just gently. Awareness in your back. As you exhale, release the contractions in the back of your body. Slowly softening as you continue to breathe. And then when you're ready, moving through neutral on your next exhale, flattening your back down to the ground. Bring your elbows together. Gently lift your head and chest. Coming up into that curl, bring your awareness into your belly. And as you inhale, slowly begin to release and continue to breathe and release the contractions in the front of your body. Slowly lowering your head. When your head is resting, slowly opening your elbows. And when you're all the way back to neutral, you'll rest. And then at your own pace, I'd like you to do 1 or 2 more repetitions of your arch and curl. Challenging yourself to go as slow and smooth as you can. Notice what you're feeling in this movement. Notice if there's any smaz left that you can try to smooth out. Noticing if you're breathing fluidly while you move. Can you breathe deeper? Can you move slower? Are you noticing the length that you've created in your torso as you lift your head? Are you noticing that maybe it's a little easier to bring your knees and your elbows towards each other, or a little easier to bring your elbows towards your knees? When you finish the one that you're on, take a moment of rest, and then you'll slowly bring your arms out from behind your head, and you'll slowly lengthen your legs one at a time. As we move back into our Soma scan position, start to bring your awareness back to your breath. Breathing into your belly. As you take these nice deep breaths, what are you noticing? What are you feeling besides that you might be cold? Has anything changed in your body with your breath? Do you feel like you're breathing deeper? Are you breathing with more comfort and ease? Are you noticing more natural movement happening in your body with your breath? How did your head and your neck feel on the floor when we started today? How does your head and neck feel now? Has anything changed? Does your head feel lighter or more centered? Does your face and your jaw feel more relaxed? If there's any tension left, try to let it go. How did your chest feel when we started? How does it feel now? Does your chest feel more open and relaxed? Do your shoulders feel a little more settled and even? How do your arms and your hands feel? Where do you have them placed now? Has this changed? How do your shoulder blades feel on the floor beneath you? Has anything changed here? Do you feel less tension? Do you feel more even or balanced? Moving into your mid, back, and belly as you take your next breath, noticing what's changed here, noticing what you feel. Moving to your low back and your pelvis. Are you more comfortable laying with your legs long now? Does your low back feel more relaxed and settled towards the floor? Does your pelvis feel more balanced and even? What are you noticing in your legs and your pelvis? Has anything changed? Do you feel more relaxed? Continue moving down through your legs, taking note of anything that's changed, anything that you're sensing. Continue to move through your knees, calves, ankles, and feet. Then I'll invite you to repeat after me, either out loud or within your own mind. My soma is relaxing. My soma is relaxed. And then when you're ready, and without rushing, you'll slowly roll to your side and slowly make your way up to sitting. Yeah, it is.